Good morning and happy Vlogmas day 8. I have a little bit more of an even later start today because I slept in for an extra hour. Plus, the only reason I'm up right now is because I realized Gabs was texting me about yesterday's vlog, so that usually means that she's running. So I'm about to lose my window of running and walking while chatting with my sister, as one does. So today's plan, I have lots of lofty goals for today and the things that I want to do. But the one thing I am committing to is I got a new Amazon Fire Stick for my TV, and my dad wants me to set it up because we have to make sure it's working instead of my technique, which was wait a month and a half for when he comes down so he can set it up. I have this aversion to setting up like certain household things, and that is one of them, but I'm gonna do it. So set up my Fire Stick today, and then I wanted to go to Target because I have a couple of things I just wanted to get, but I decided to treat myself to what I like to think of as the Target experience, where you walk the whole store and you let Target tell you what you need. So I will be doing the Target experience, of course, catching up on my Advents. And then I wanted to take some time because I feel like the time's gonna get away from me, especially as we get closer and closer to the holidays. I think I'm gonna rewatch Gabs and I's, whatchamacallit, our wrap-up video from last year to see like what our goals were and all those different kinds of things, and take some time to write out some notes for myself on what I want to make sure I talk about this year, like the things we want to recap, and then actually take some time to write down the things that I want to make in the new year. Also to see if there's anything or any of those things I want to bring up with me as my projects for over the holidays. Last year, I know the holidays were super busy for me because I was actually in a wedding that happened over the break. So I think I'll have a lot more time to myself. I've also taken a couple extra days on both the front and the back end of break. So theoretically, it should be more of a chill break. But of course, like, things happen, things come up, we have adventures that we want to go on. But when I asked Gabs how many projects I should bring, she said many, so that's super helpful. But I wanted to kind of plan that out a little bit so that I can always add or take away if I want to. I'm driving, so I'm not limited by space, which is really nice, but I have 50 million presents that I'm gonna have to smash into the back of my got because I, for some reason, have no boxes to bring them home in, so that's just lovely. So I got to think about the space, packing the clothes, all those kinds of things, but definitely want to take some time to think about the new year, especially while I'm surrounded by my stash, because I think that will help inspire me for those different things. So that's the goal for today. I got really far on, or got good progress on my Dynamite socks. So I finished the first sock. I'm probably like maybe 15 rows from the toe on the second sock. I love DK socks, they just go so fast. So hopefully those will get finished today, and then I can focus on my gingerbread socks. So I better get moving before I lose my Gabs window. Update, she didn't answer. I think I lost my window. That's only 30 minutes later, and now I'm logged in on all 50,000 streaming platforms that my family has, most housed by our dad. So I am all set up on my Fire TV. Very exciting. Turns out we also have Apple TV. So the streaming is at my fingertips. How exciting is this? So now I finally get to have breakfast, because I was like, oh, I'll get it done before breakfast, forgetting that I would have to log into everything. So we're ready to go. That was like the task I really didn't want to do, and that is checked off my list. I'm pretty pumped about that. But now the prize is the Spam Bake for breakfast. So if you know, you know about the Spam Bakes. They are delicious. Okay, Target trip was an absolute success. Gabs, don't tell Dad that I bought myself the elf stitch because I decided I needed it, but I didn't buy myself the extra swimsuit. So that's what's exciting. I've got dresses for the girls. I've got elf cookies, and this is why I love being a grown-up with no one to supervise me, because you walk away with elf stitch because you need it. I have no regrets on my elf stitch. Perfect, perfect, perfect. And I got this little buddy. Am I now maybe a Target bird girl? It's possible. It's highly possible. So cute. All right, back from Target, and so pleased with all of my various purchases. I even got to scan my receipt to donate to the Box Tops fundraiser thing that my sister is doing, which usually none of my things ever qualify because I'm usually at very specific like Asian markets or Trader Joe's, and so you have to use the Box Tops eligible thing. If you still want to join, I think our link to help support, and you can change it for different schools as well, is still below, but I got her 40 cents, so I'm pretty pumped about that. It's actually only 11:30, so the day is still my oyster. So I think right now I'm going to focus on doing the advents for today, and then have some lunch, and then after that, the afternoon will be for planning or thinking about planning for the end of the year, the projects, as well as thinking about what I want to do for the coming year, and that will come, and so we'll do a whole video on that. That will be separate from Vlogmas. You can look forward to that. And speaking of upcoming videos, I was talking with our dad yesterday because we were talking about what yarn to use for the main color for joining our blanket for our Hawaii advent that we got, because it does come with a main skein, I'm pretty sure, but since we're doing a full blanket, we're gonna need more than that. And Dad ended up going through his stash and started reading me off all these names of like amazing yarns. So I've decided when I go home, I will do a separate video that's about Dad's stash, because that is, I think, the secret stash that both of us can have access to that's not really ours. So it's like bonus shopping, if you will. So I'll do a video on that. But if there's any other videos or things that you want to see from us, if we can get it together before the end of the year, we'll do our best. But if there's other things you want to see as well from us, you're curious about, like, please don't be shy. Let us know. Like, we'll share as much as we can. Me definitely able to share more than my sister of like my home and my space, because they don't have the kids running around. But I'm always curious about stuff, and I was like, I can't ask that. That's too much. But please don't be afraid. If you have questions about things you want to see from us, again, questions about anything, also fair game. I feel like my goal in life is to get us to a point, which I clearly have not tried very hard, is where like we're popular enough where we could do one of those question videos where people will put enough comments for questions. So hopefully we'll get to that point. But again, please don't hesitate. Don't be shy. If you prefer to email us as well, always happy to connect with you that way. Back to the advents though. So for today, it is day 8. And the colorway is called Nostalgia. We're back to the purples, y'all. Call back to the purple, which is fabulous. So, but it does have some of that nice blue in it. Maybe parts of it kind of going well with that brown as well. So Nostalgia, that is this beauty that I've got here. So I will go line this up and get working on my advents. So apparently past Shaylee is looking out for future Shaylee, because I have my notes from last year's video. So this was before we were we were really tracking our projects. So I have my list of all of our different projects and the different types of things that we had made, and then kind of a list of what we wanted to go over. And I still have the same notebook. So I'm going to work on writing that stuff down here. Luckily, I don't have to do this part because I have been tracking it in my notebook, but I at least want to write down the things I want to make sure we talk about in the video. Maybe, and then probably like the list of like big projects that I want to get done. Like we'll talk about like all the little stuff, but there are some things I have and have been floating around in my head that I definitely want to work on next year. So that will be the goal. All right, so I've sat now for quite a bit working on some intentionality as it comes to my knitting and crocheting. So I've worked on my list. I have our plan written down for what we're doing for our wrap-up video, as well as my list of at least the projects that I have in mind for 2025. And I kind of organize the yarn a bit that I already have for those. Some are still kind of in the works and also need to get those going. But in general, I've got those kind of sorted out. And then I put aside some projects that I would like to work on for this Christmas season. I also took a little time to kind of organize the things I think I might need in terms of like tools and stuff or supplies for taking with me, which I've put in my little organizer here from Erin Lane bags. So I've got needles and the other notions and things that I think I need. Of course, my sister and my dad also have supplies, which is really helpful. So if I do need to borrow from them, I absolutely can. I also am just going to go ahead and bring all of my crochet hooks. Again, Dad has crochet hooks, but I'm driving. It doesn't hurt to have them with me. And then as I've talked about, we were kind of sorting out what yarn we're going to use for our Hawaii blanket. We will open up that advent probably all in one shot. Like on December 24th or something, or maybe even on the 18th. So we'll figure it out though. But I'm bringing home what I have left of the Honolulu yarn from Destination Yarn in case we decide to use this for part of the joining. And then I also have some other projects set aside to bring with me. So in my Christmas gnomes bag that I've got here, Dad made for me, I have all of my yarns to work on my Creative Infinity scarf, and I am thinking that I'm gonna go ahead at least wind up all the yarns tonight, if not start it, because I want to. And so I'm going to do that, and it is exciting for me because I thought about waiting with my sister to maybe start it a little bit later since we kind of missed the boat on keeping up with it daily, but I don't care. I'm gonna make this bad boy. So it's at least in the bag, which I feel like is progress. Next, I also have, these are just generally kind of like a Christmassy projects. And so if I don't start these already while I'm here, I will at least for sure bring them home with me. So this in this bag is a mystery to all of us because this is my last quarterly swap from my sister. It will become socks. We were supposed to do candy cane stripes, pardon me, which is patterned by the Crazy Sock Lady, but I don't want to do that. So I'm probably going to do like a scrappy, like stripy sock, which is still kind of her recipe for how she does those socks. And so that will be a project that either, again, get started sometime before I go up or when I'm up there. So that one is ready to go. At least it has a bag and such. And then in this bag, I put together, these are the mini skeins that we got from For You to Dream. So all of these I'm going to turn into also some scrappy stripy socks, and I've paired it with this nice kind of light gray, so very Christmassy with these. I'm pretty sure this is Mandy's makings. So these, again, another set of stripy socks, which is so ridiculous because I love a good vanilla DK, and none of which of these have become vanilla DK. And then in this one, we have a vanilla DK. So this is leftover yarn from my chickens that I didn't quite use enough of it to count it as out of stash. So I do want to get these done. These are both Malabrigo. And they're both sock yarn. This one's called Myths and this one is called Carnival. So this is probably the sock or the pair of socks that I'll start next. So I can kind of just get those ones done. And so I still don't think that's enough projects to bring up with me. So I think I'm just gonna pull some extra skeins of yarn, maybe like 1 or 2 just to bring with me just in case. But now that I'm thinking about this, maybe not, because I have this super long width, so long that it's not even in Ravelry. I started this a while ago, and I think these patterns are kind of making like a comeback. So I have all of this wonderful kind of big box yarn. It's all what do you call it? Big twist. There you go. And I am making a it's Heidi Bears, and it's all the African flower pattern. You can see what they look like here. All the African flower pattern to make a triceratops. We've made plenty of these in the past. You've probably seen them, at least in her different patterns around the craft room. Like this is the Stegosaurus. I have a rhinoceros. I also have a bulldog, and then I have my own triceratops at home, and then my sister and them also have a triceratops. So I started this a really long time ago. I want to say I was in graduate school still. I think I was in my last year of graduate school, and for some reason or another I didn't make a Ravelry page for it, but it's basically sat with me, moved with me from Simi Valley down here to Torrance. So I'm bringing it home. Dad has agreed to help me with it, and hopefully we will gift it to someone in our lives who is expecting a baby. So yeah, that one will come with me. So maybe I do have enough projects. I got to work on that. We'll work on our blankets when they happen as well. So I mean, like, I can still bring like a skein or 2 of yarn. It's not hurting anybody. But yeah, that's where I'm at with my projects. So it's just a little bit before dinner time. So I will at least maybe start winding up some of the yarn for my Creative Infinity scarf and kind of get this all packaged up, and then keep on cracking for the rest of the evening. Tonight's meal, not that much color, but we've got a nice mixed medley of many different Asian cuisines. So I've got my Korean scallion pancake. These are siumai, which is basically Chinese dumpling. And then I've got some beef loin here, it's thinly sliced. You can often see this kind of thing in like Korean barbecue or in like shabu shabu. Nice dipping sauce for the meat, and then I made myself a little cocktail here, which is basically like Hawaiian punch, or it's actually strawberry lilikoi, which is strawberry and passion fruit with a little bit of vodka in it. So I am ready to dig in.